Dead Candy. Dedicated entertainment for the dead.
Spoiler alert, Slashers Paradise encourages viewers to watch these horror films before listening to our show. Danny and Lance will go through everything, including filmmaking, dialogue, characters, and even full scene breakdowns when we get excited. Enjoy the show. Welcome, everyone, to Slashers Paradise. Gee, I wonder what movie we were talking about tonight, Dave.
I have been so looking forward to getting this shirt out of my closet, man. Look at it. It's awesome. Take a look. I'm sorry for those of you that are just listening. I am very much proud of my Night of the Demons t-shirt from Gutter Garbs.
Yes, it's a very poppy shirt. The orange really pops off the black, so
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous of that shirt.
Orange and black.
Orange
very
and black.
Halloween-y colors.
Cannot go wrong with that. Orange or black, Halloween. We cannot go wrong with any of this.
No, I mean, here's the thing. I really hate burnt orange. I think it's stupid, but
It's a stupid color.
It's a stupid color for stupid people. But Halloween orange, which that the bucket, or I think it's really nice. It's really nice. It really pops,
especially on black.
Yeah,
sometimes on purple.
Ooh,
we're talking about Halloween colors, like purple.
No.
You definitely got to throw in as a secondary.
No, purple is because I have these string lights, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
the Halloween string lights, and they've
right.
stayed up all year. And one color orange, one color purple, and then alternating colors. So there
it is. How else do you decorate for a Halloween party?
If I'm throwing a Halloween party, it's really all about the grub.
That's right, the spread.
The spread, man.
That's
you
what
got to
it's
have
about.
a good spread. I don't know if so I like easy food, but very satisfying food. So this is usually a New Year's food for me. It's like something my mom would make all the time, and it's the meatballs in the crock pot with barbecue and then grape jelly sauce.
Whoa, grape jelly sauce?
Yeah, fuck around. Find out.
I gotta try that. I'm one of those guys, like peanut butter jelly hamburgers are a thing, cheeseburgers.
Oh.
And I will get that at every restaurant that comes up. So if there's jam, jelly, anything in a meat, or whatever the hell you're saying, meatballs, I'm all about it.
Jam,
I'd love to
jelly,
try that.
and meat. There's a dirty joke I could think of with all those words. Yeah, man. But I mean, that's maybe just parties themselves. For me and Halloween parties, I have always gone to them as Michael Myers. So by the end of the night or middle of the night, I have the mask just like sitting on the top of my head so I can stuff my face. But yeah, I think the spread is important throughout. Of course, you got to have some good drinks and such. Yeah. I mean, if it's Halloween, I do like a theme party. I mean, if it's a Halloween party, so like if you're gonna make there's dry ice in the punch and all that stuff.
You got to make a punch, though. You just mentioned it, so you got to make a punch.
I mean,
that's on the list.
You got to make a punch. Although, I guess I'm not as confident in my liqueur mixing. Sometimes I don't know what goes with. I spent an entire summer thinking that Pepsi and Captain Morgan was awesome.
Ooh. In your youth.
And I drank it all.
Must have been nice to be young at a time.
Where nothing mattered. You're like, hey, it goes together, man.
I see, my future niece wanted to do like a Halloween party, so we concocted. It was non-alcoholic, but we concocted our own witch's brew.
Oh.
And it was like you try to just put fun stuff in there, but you try to make it edible. So there was like gummy worms on the bottom of this thing. There was like sherbet ice cream. I don't even know. I think pineapple juice, apple juice, all these random things. And she was so excited, and she dressed up as a witch. And then we get to actually drinking it, and she wants no part of it.
Oh no!
But I'm the uncle that's like, this is great, and I downed as much as I could get through before I had Halloween tummy aches. But
was it good?
It was a thing. It wasn't bad, but it's not something you'll want.
Sliders are another good one. I mean, I'm saying all the things that Caitlin has just like nailed whenever we like throw parties and such. But like, yeah, sliders with the Hawaiian bread bun.
Oh yeah, that's the way to go.
It's very good.
A little
very
sweetness
good stuff.
on there.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
man.
It's all about the snacks. I mean, obviously there's candy everywhere, but you gotta come up with some sort of like ghoulish snacks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right. But I guess aside from the snacks, if you're throwing a Halloween party, you gotta have the games.
What games are you playing?
Well, I'm not gonna bob for apples because everyone thinks that I'm weird every time I suggest it. So I guess I'm never gonna bob for apples.
We don't do
again.
that anymore.
Why?
I don't know.
Because of disgusting.
Probably.
Because you're dunking your head in water with everybody else's saliva. Ooh, what you a do la day.
Oh, God.
Anyway, no, but I think one Halloween party was the last time we did this was the seance,
Ooh.
or playing with a Ouija board.
Yeah.
I know they're two different things. I didn't mean to offend any witches in the audience.
How
but
dare you, Danny?
I know. What do I know? I know what I don't know, and what I don't know are like the things. But I do know that day we did with the Ouija board, and it was Halloween. It's like it's already like a high frequency night. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So it's like
it's a thinning of the veil, as they say.
yeah, man. Weird spirits could come and mingle.
Oh my gosh, you sound like a demon over there.
I am. That's my demon voice, but it's like it's not my demon voice, but it's definitely the demon voice inspired by this film.
Night of the Demons.
I love this movie, Lance.
You have mentioned this movie, like, I don't think you realize how much you've mentioned it, but you have mentioned it quite a few times over our last several episodes.
I guess I don't
especially
realize.
our beginning ones.
No, I mean,
But it's something that you keep throwing out there. It's something you keep going back to, and we got to get into exactly why that is. The original, why we're talking about Halloween parties. This is kind of about a Halloween party, but it's also almost named Halloween Party.
I mean, you guys decide for yourselves. Would you have, or I don't know if you've seen it yet, but if you haven't, you've got your option. Do you want to watch a movie called Halloween Party, or do you want to watch a movie called Night of the Demons? I already know.
What about Demon Boogie?
I would watch all three, probably in that order.
Perfect.
I mean, because like I know some people will be like Halloween Party, and that's probably like fun. It's probably like Halloween Town and stuff. But no matter what the title, the premise was always going to be pretty ridiculous and pretty gratuitous in its gruesomeness. But forget that, the VHS cover. I don't know if you want to float it there, Lance. If you could just float it there, the VHS cover. It's pretty much in your face.
Yeah, it's another one that stands out when we're going through the video store and all that kind of stuff. It was one that always did stand out. Like,
and this spawned some sequels, and I think they got the same character on all the box art.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, with the because in the second, because the first one she's holding the invitation. I think the second one she's got the skull lollipop.
Yeah, I remember the second one. The third one I'm foggy on, and then of course there was a remake. So I don't remember that one.
No remakes.
No.
Unless they're good, like Evil Dead.
I don't even remember the remake. I think I started to watch a part of it. Shannon Elizabeth was in it. And
No.
In the
later, would she play Angela?
years, yeah, she does.
Ooh, what you a do la day?
All right, Danny, let's get to it. What's our pumpkin spice latte for Night of the Demons?
Night of the Demons pumpkin spice latte. Okay, Night of the Demons is a movie about a group of kids who are getting together at a well-known in the area haunted house or house with a lot of history attached to it named Hull House. Getting together for a Halloween party, and while they're there, a lot of very weird demonic things start to happen to them, and it's about how are they going to survive the night, or are they going to survive at all? It's very straightforward. A bunch of demons, or a big demon or one demon, and starts to infiltrate, and this night turns quite demonic. It's almost as if it's a night of the demons. Nailed it.
Breakdown of the film Night of the Demons came out on September 9th, 1988, Budget for the film, $1.2 million. Our box office was $3.1 million, and it was one of those that we're gonna leave it in the theater as long as we can, so it kind of finished the year, so we could get to that point. Directed by Kevin Tenay, starring Amelia Kincaid, Linnea Quigley, Linnea Quigley,
I think.
James Quinn, which did most of the demon voices, not all of them, but most. Kathy Podwell, sorry if I got that wrong, and Lance Fitton. And it has one of the longest video game intros I have ever seen. It matches Danny's shirt.
Yes, it does. Okay. Here's part one or number one of why I reference this movie so much. I can literally sit through these credits every time. You know, because sometimes when you rewatch movies and you're like, okay, these credits are going to go on for a while, and it's like, obviously, a lot of people, it's part of the movie. Filmmakers will tell you the credits are part of the movie, and you need to watch those too. This one, no matter what time I'm listening or watching it, I will listen and watch the credits every time. The song puts me in a good mood. It's the art, the moving art. It's like cartoon, but it doesn't. It just. It's hard to explain, folks, but it's worth your time to watch. If you don't want to watch a full movie, you just go on YouTube, look for it. It's just like dun 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 dun, and then it's like demons and like cartoons flowing all over the place.
Yeah, it's animated.
It's
great for like, especially Halloween time, but it's this great animated thing. But it has this like Halloween arcade feel.
Yes,
for me, that's what I would describe it as with the animation. It's like a Halloween arcade game.
Cut my arm, have my blood spill out. The DNA will show Halloween arcade. That's my DNA. Halloween arcade.
That's what our show's becoming.
Halloween arcade. I mean, like, that is it. It's everything that it puts me in such a good mood. It's not like, yeah, we're gonna watch some demons kill some people. It's not that. It's just like, just kind of gets me. It hits me right in all the right parts. I know exactly where I was the first time I watched it. I know that it's creating new memories each time because it's just like, it's fun. Like right now, I mean, before we filmed this, I just turned it on just to listen to it. And that's why I know it. And then this is some of the artwork right here.
Yeah.
This is how it looks.
Danny is wearing it.
I'm wearing my Halloween arcade-ness.
It's beautiful. It pops so well. And again, everything's on black. It's orange and grays and whites on black. It's a cool animation. I don't know how much it sets up. It does set up the film pretty well. I mean, that tune and the vibe of it, because there's... I feel like cheesy gets has become such a dirty word, and that's not how I mean it in this. There's just some...
I don't mean it.
It's fun film. You said fun. I'll go with fun for now.
But if I hear cheesy, Lance, I don't think it's dirty. Not me.
Sometimes it can be, but not in our realm. Not in our realm.
No. Give me the cheese, man.
Yeah.
Give me the big time cheese, and that's what I think. That's why this movie, I love it so much, is because you could say it's a black comedy, or it's a B horror movie. Obviously, it's a satire. It's cheesy. You can say all the things, and you can make an argument for each. And you know what? Maybe you could even make an argument that it tried to take itself seriously, but it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah,
and it's
totally
fun. I mean, that voice I'm doing, if I do say so myself, is actually pretty spot on with the demon voice that you end up hearing in the movie.
Right.
Going so soon.
I feel like a lot of early 90s movies, I mean, this was 88, so a lot of early 90s cartoons had that voice for their demons or their gargoyles or stuff like
that. The villain for Inspector Gadget.
Right.
I'll get you, Gadget.
Yeah, it's almost the exact same thing,
or at least that's the same way I'm doing it.
All right, so, I mean, we get introduced to a plethora of 80s style characters on Halloween night.
Yeah, Halloween night. These are high school kids, which some of them have better 5 o'clock shadows than like my grandfather. So it is around Halloween night, and there's supposed to be a dance, and the movie gives you your traditional tropes. Although I will say, there's a certain like it screams like Midwestern town, man. It screams it's just small town maybe in all, that has like that scary house on top of the hill. But it's called Hull House, actually. Hull or Hull?
Hull.
Okay.
Hull.
Okay. So, but the thing is, there's this character named Sal that, and now that I say it, you could easily explain it. Well, like he's an army brat or like whatever. He's like an not exchange student, but like his parents moved there or whatever. He's just like this, like, he's like, hey, get your sister for me. And he like scares an old man with like a rat. And he's like, hey, there's no fool like an old fool. And I'm just like, who is this? Who is this street, stereotype from New York that's just like in this Midwestern town, just like causing havoc, just like just scaring this old man. It's like, hey, you better watch yourself, old man. It's Halloween. I'm just like, who the fuck is this guy? But I fucking love him.
Yeah.
He's the best.
He does not match any of these characters. You're right. He's obviously like an army brat or like a transplant from somewhere else.
Yes, definitely. So. I mean, because for the most part, everybody kind of fills in the tropes of this cheesy movie. So you got like the goody girl, you got the jock who's a little bit more too forward, you got like the slutty girls, you got the weird girls, you got the big dumb rocker pig, for lack of a better term, and you got the little shitty brat of a brother. You got I hate to say this, but you do. You have token ethnic characters. I hate it because it's like. Hate it. It just is what it is.
You're talking about Roger?
Yeah, I'm talking about Roger.
The smartest man in the whole room of this movie. Spoiler, yeah. Go ahead.
He doesn't die. So there.
He doesn't die, but again, he's the fucking smartest dude in the whole party.
You're totally right, because absolutely, if I'm at a party and shit starts to go down like demonic voices, I'm going to get the fuck out of there.
I mean, we're obviously skipping around and stuff, but he's the first one to see anything, and all it is a spooky mirror, right? I mean, that's what he sees with Bebop.
Oh shit! He's calling him.
I have to call him that,
dude. There's this big dude named Stooge, who is a piece of shit. Sorry, he's a sack of shit because he's huge, and his Halloween costume is just a pig nose.
But he's got a mohawk, and he's got like painted lines, and he wears glasses. I mean, he is straight up trying to be Bebop at that point. It's 88.
Road Warrior Animal.
Oh yeah, I mean,
but no, he's like the rocker. He's got like his cars. He's mooning the old man. Like he's just like that dude. But yeah, Bebop, because he definitely looks like Bebop.
But him and Roger go into another room to check out like a shuffle or a weird sound or something like that.
Oh right, yeah.
And Roger just comes back and is like, fuck this, I'm done. It was like at the beginning of everything happening.
And then Stooge comes back, he's like, he takes off the nose. You guys aren't going to believe what's in here. And they go in there and it's a mirror.
It's a mirror.
But Roger was just like, I'm
done. That's it. I heard noises. I saw a weird mirror. I'm out. So we haven't even set up this movie. I had to talk about the fact that Roger is introduced. He's obviously the smartest guy because the entire movie he's just trying to get out of this place.
Which is what, like, you would hope that, like, you can identify with certain characters, right? As you're watching it. Okay, when I was watching this movie, I just got to go back to the moment I watched it, right? The moment I watched it, I was at my uncle's house. He had this like older house, and I just remember that the floors were definitely wooden, and they made noise as you walked around. And I just remember watching it on this VHS, and it was one of the, because the TVs with the VHS built in, you know, they got big, right? So it was like a big TV. I remember it was like in the like kind of living room area, and we watched it there. And I just remember thinking that the actual house that I was watching it in was terrifyingly creepy.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because I started the movie and the sun was out, and then I finished the movie and the sun was not, and that messes with you, dude.
Yeah. There's when I was watching this actually last night, and I realized I'm watching it at like 1:32 a.m. I'm like, this is the perfect time to watch it. Midway through, I'm like, I'm really enjoying this.
Yes.
And it took me back to the first time I saw it, which was somewhere between like 2006, 2007. And there was something called Monsters HD. I don't know if you remember it or if you had it. You had to have like Dish Network or something like that. but I had Monsters HD for like a year. And at this time I had like surgery. So I was kind of like pinned up to the couch sort of a thing. Like I had nowhere to go. And Monsters HD was on, it was 24/7 horror movies. This was on there all the time. Army of Darkness, The Evil Dead, all these great old movies. But it was the first time that they were being upgraded to HD. So it was monsters all day long, and like Night of the Comet, all these kind of great.
You're saying all the movies we're going to end up covering anyway.
All these great 80s horror flicks that are very different. So basically, they play the movie unedited, uncut, and it was the first time in HD. So it's just very colorful, very poppy. And I would just sit there for hours because I had nowhere to go, man. I was like pinned there. I don't know if you've had surgery where you're just like, I need to recover. So I'm just sitting there watching. And what they would do is they would play the whole movie uncut in HD for the first time. And then they would show you scenes from other movies. And that was the only transition into the next movie. Monsters HD was like a godsend.
Wow.
It only lasted for a few years. I think they had so many great movies because it was produced, or they had some connection to AMC. So they had a lot of great movies. And then they were, kind of bringing up some other older ones like this one through HD. And I remember watching this like 2 a.m. and just enjoying it because you're in that kind of twilight zone when you're watching. You can watch like Halloween, Friday the 13th at a certain time of night. And you're like, great, this is awesome. You're really into it. And then you kind of get to the twilight stage where you're like getting a little sleepy, a little tired, but you still want to keep watching. And you watch this one. Monsters HD was the place, man. And I think that's what Shudder became like. Dang. But it's not 24/7 like Monsters HD was. Like it was the greatest thing, greatest horror experience I've ever had. Was just sitting there and watching monster movies all day long. You put it on in the background. You just, oh man. And you'd see clips of stuff you haven't seen before. They would just show you like the gore of it. And you're like, what is that? I have to watch that. And they play the title and then play the next movie. Gosh. Greatest thing ever. I really miss that. We need that. We need to be on that.
I'm getting FOMO just hearing you talk about all this shit. It's pissing me off that I didn't know, or maybe I did and I just wasn't aware of it at the time, or maybe it missed me. I think the only thing that I had that's comparable is I had like Sirius XM like free for a while during October, and there was a channel dedicated to just scary either stories. Right. Obviously music, and it was called Sirius XM Scream. It was called Scream. Okay. And not only would they play the music of the shows and the movies, but then they would just like throw in a random because like Vincent Price did these vinyls where he would be like, how to make a werewolf, camphor oil, and that's all I remember is just that part of the recipe over and over again. And I was just like I was actually driving to horror nights all the time, like going to work, and it was like it's just cool. You just got like into it anyway. Like and then now you have to have like the super 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 premium of Sirius XM to even hear it. So it's a bummer.
Everything's become such a premium, and it's such a bummer. Like, and nothing plays 24/7. You know what I mean? Like that was. I mean,
Shudder, it does play 24/7. They have like the Shudder channel,
but they don't have the movies that. I mean, they have a lot of new stuff, a lot of indie stuff.
Yes.
They don't have a lot of the classics, and a lot of these movies that you discover, or April Fools, where you would discover it through TV or just watching it. You never watch it on your own. I just miss that. Yeah.
What I miss is people giving a shit about Halloween. You know what I'm saying? If I throw a Halloween party, you better come dressed up to it. So you better come dressed up to my Halloween party, okay? Stooge at least put on a fucking pig mask, and he is pig man, and then he turns into pig demon, right? There's a nurse or a doctor. There's a Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Roger's a pirate. Mm-hmm. Angela is just in like all black.
It's like gothy witch.
But then, and then Judy is like Alice from Alice in Wonderland. Mm-hmm. And then Sal's in a denim Canadian tuxedo.
What is Suzanne even dressed as?
I just said Peter Pan.
No, Suzanne.
Linnea Quigley, right?
Yes.
She's like in an all pink
I don't know if it's a costume or not.
No, it's not. She's just like in a pink dress.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Her and Jay, who's like, a knockoff Miami Vice, they just came to the party just to fuck around. And I'm like, put in some effort. The dude is wearing scrubs. I get it. He's a doctor. freaking stooge put on a pig nose, and just because he's big, he ends up looking pretty accurate, and he looks like a pig, and he acts like a pig. He's like, I want to party, he does things like that, and you're just like, fuck yeah, man, you're really leaning into it. But then you got Jay, who's just there with his. The point I'm trying to make here is, folks, I would go to Halloween parties, right? And usually they were always as Michael Myers, always. But then it came downtown, came down to eating and stuff. I just put the mask on top of my head. I knew what it was. I didn't like it, but at least I went for an effort. I hate the people that are just like, hey, sorry, I just came, and they're like in a t-shirt, and I'm just like, fuck you. Try. Put some effort into it. That's me.
I get it. I get your side of this.
Okay, but what's the counter?
My counter is usually I like to be the party host, and I'll put on like a horror movie sweater and jacket, whatever, because I'm mobile, you know what I mean? Like I'm the host. It's like I gotta take out the trash, I gotta make sure the punch is fresh and all this kind of stuff. I'm moving around. I don't want to be moving around in a costume. And the other thing is, if you're gonna be Michael Myers, you gotta be in character the whole time.
True.
So I'm hoping that you're drinking Dr. Pepper the whole night.
Yeah. No, but I am eating dog.
Anyway, God, we are not going to go through that again.
Comes back.
We are not going. Michael Myers does not eat. Well, he does in
Yes,
Rob
he does.
Zombie's world,
Yes,
but
he
not
does.
in John Carpenter's world.
Dear God. Dear God.
No.
Holy shit, Lance.
What?
We didn't even set up the slash word.
We didn't.
But we can. We're still not that deep into the movie.
We're not. What's... All right. I've dropped all my pins.
This is a pen dropping moment. I got so excited. And you know what? This is going to be retroactive. But we are still playing the slash word game on Slasher's Paradise. Basically, it's a form of password.
Yeah.
You hear the slash word, or you watch, you hear the slash word, you take a drink. It could be anything from water to alcohol to anything in between. Pickle juice, if you're dehydrated, that's very good for you.
Yes. Stay hydrated. Stay safe. Today, our caller calling in with the slash word is Danny. Who is it?
It's not me. It's hold on, I got the text here.
Is it Angela? Or
It is. It's Angela, the demon from Night of the Demons.
Oh,
She
perfect.
took a moment to out of her hosting to give us a call for the slash word.
All right. Angela, Demon Angela, please go ahead and give us our slash word.
Hello, this is Angela, and I'm here to give you the slash word. And the slash word is party. Have a good night. A demon night.
Great.
All right. Thank you so much, Angela.
She's so scary.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, that voice. All right. So
If you hear it, take a drink. Take a drink.
the house that we were having this Halloween party at, Hull
House. Whole house.
is a real, at this time, haunted house.
Oh?
They barely changed anything on this house. It was
Shut the hell
actual
up.
abandoned house.
Where?
Most of the furniture and everything was in there. I'm not sure where they filmed it. I don't have that. Note. But a lot of the furniture that you see in there, a lot of the decrepit decor and everything was all there.
Shut.
Yeah, they barely did anything to this house to actually change it up. So there's
Oh,
your-
that's interesting. I would love to find this place.
it's a Ralph's now. So unfortunately, it's gone. Like everything else,
It's a Ralph's?
it's a Ralph's.
So then that means it's around here. It's in California.
Is Ralph's only California? Or is
Well,
it West
Ralph's
Coast?
is regional. It might be Southwest
Yeah.
or upper mid or west. Period. Anyway, that is freaking awesome. I did not know that.
Especially for how creepy it is and how well they use the lighting mostly in this. I mean, there's one scene that's just all red. And if you have like sensory, stuff going on, it's all red when they're dancing around in this house. It can get a little glaring for you.
You want to
and-
talk about sensory stuff? The red scene, sure, but at one point they pull out a fucking strobe light.
an old school strobe light, which I actually have.
I had. Is it mine? I had one too, and dude, okay, look. I don't want to talk about just shit, but
But-
I used to throw some pretty dope when my parents weren't there. Sorry, Mom, I know you're listening to this, and Dad, sorry. But I used to throw some really dope high school parties. And usually the night would go on and we'd be there and everyone would be chilling. And then this is the portion where we turn on the strobe light and just see what happens. And
that's exactly what happens in the film. It's perfect.
Exactly.
Like it's going and like, oh, check this out. And I forget who it was, but like, yeah, my mom was really into psychedelics.
Yeah, my
or
mom
something.
was a stoner or something like that.
Yeah, like really into psychedelic stuff,
Yeah.
and turns on, but it has the clicking sound, which is everything. And so they have this dancing. I have the exact same one. I still have it. It still works. We used it on our haunted houses, and when I was a child, my mom used it.
Well, now you're going to use it on my haunted house because we're going to make one over.
Oh, Danny's getting a house.
I'm very excited. But anyway, the point is that there are some triggers in this movie that if you're not ready for it, it can really fuck with you. I actually always I do get motion sickness a lot, those of you that know me, but this part I enjoyed when they do the strobe light.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was curious about that. I get concerned for you. I was watching. I think April Fool's Day. I was watching, and the opening is all POV. And I was like, oh, poor Danny.
Oh no, I did have to look away.
The camera is just everywhere, and now I think about that because I don't have that issue, but I know that you do. And
I do. It's bad. For some reason, I just like start holding my breath or something like that. Even if I try to concentrate, by the time I think to concentrate on my breathing, which is what it is, motion sickness, you're like holding your breath and stuff because you get nervous or I don't know what the hell. Yeah, by the time I realize that I've been doing it, I'm already, what you would do la day. Okay, folks, I got to talk real quick about what the hell I've been saying right there. I've been saying it a few times during the episode. What you would do la day. Okay, that is nonsense. It's not. Those are not words. There is this scene where they take out the strobe light, and it's actually awesome because this is the okay. So eventually, shit goes off the rails, and they all turn into demons, or most of them turn into demons, and blah blah blah. But when the party is kicking and thumping and bumping, it's a fucking fun time.
Yeah.
And there is this song they're playing called Computer Date. And my uncle would get frustrated with me because I would do what I just did over and over again because I didn't know the words. And it's like something computer date, right? And that's fine, right? Those are the lyrics of the song. If you want to listen to it, it's called like Night of the Demon soundtrack Computer Date on YouTube. You can't really find it anywhere else. So I listened to it and I finally heard the lyrics and I was like, no, I like my lyrics better. It's like, what you would do la day, and it's like it's just like a generic rock song. It's like maybe they made it like to accompany the movie because sometimes they do that. But this one, it was just like it's fun because like they're all like dancing and they're like trying to dance, and then the strobe lights kick in and they're all normal. I guess that's why I like it, is because like there's a sense of normalcy still there. There's still fun to be had, and it's like this is like because when you throw a party, right, you want it to go off without a hitch. You want it to check all the boxes, and this one up to this point it nailed it. Like everyone was partying, the drinks were out, the music was out, the food was there, everyone was having a good time, and then obviously it goes to shit. But like I do like this song because that's where they start having fun.
It goes to shit immediately. Suzanne is possessed by I think their first demon, right?
Suzanne's first. Well, but we got to talk about Suzanne. We have to, right?
Okay.
When we're introduced to her and Angela.
Yeah.
Okay, look, Angela is a weird girl. They say, right? They're like, oh, she probably lives in a belfry. I fucking love that line, right? So Angela is throwing this party, so they don't have to go to the dance. They're gonna go, party in Hull House. Well, they're kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're like trying to get supplies for the party. So Linnea Quigley, who is 80s horror royalty, and I have used that word in previous episodes about royalty, but Return of the Living Dead, this movie, countless others.
I just kind of share this fact with you. She was cast in April Fool's Day, but because of her schedule conflicts with Return, she could not do April Fool's Day. So she would have been in that as well.
So glad she did Return of the Living Dead. She's trash. She's not trash.
Trash.
Her character's name is called Trash.
Right. Oh, wow. We broke Danny with that one.
No, you are not my horror royalty icon Linnea Quigley, you are. She even put out like it was like an '80s slasher workout video.
Ooh, we got to see that.
Yeah,
we
man.
We got to post the link to that one.
So like, okay, so I don't want to like
talk a bunch of shit.
I don't want to talk a bunch of shit.
Here we go.
But when I watched this movie, I was younger than I am right now. Things were being awakened in me.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best way I can say that. I think you guys know where I'm going with this. But things were awakening in me. And this movie gives you the gratuitous nudity that you need, which is synonymous with these cheesy horror movies from the 80s. But this one is actually pretty graphic and pretty gratuitous. But I think with the idea of it always kind of having that funky aspect attached to it. Okay. They're when I said that they're high school kids trying to throw this party, they got to get supplies, but they don't have money, right? So what Angela does is she takes Suzanne to the the convenience store, and all she's doing is she's keeping the attention of the clerks at the convenience store by bending over in front of them. She's wearing like underwear, obviously, but like wearing a thong, and she's just like bent over and just like she's like, you know, looking at like, can I looking through the aisles, and just full moon right to those guys while Angela pretty much ransacks the store. And yeah, that's how you're introduced to this character. So when I'm watching it at whatever age I am, I'm like, what you do today? I'm just like, oh my god, it's a moment. And then that's just even like that's the precursor for where it even just like, I mean, she gets like full on nudified.
She does, but there's I mean, she shows her breasts at one point, and there's a weird. Oh, it's so bizarre, man.
Right, so we're back to the moment where you said that she's possessed. She's one of the first ones to get possessed by a demon, right? So the demon accentuates her
sexuality.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What is she okay, so
it's a lipstick.
She's like putting war paint on essentially at this point. It's pink like very bright pink lipstick. She's putting it on, but it almost looks like war paint, like Joker style.
She's you know, she's like, I can't get it right, and it's like all over her face. It's like, you know, it's ridiculous, but
a demon playing with a body kind of thing. Like, let's see it. And then we open up the shirt, and we see her breasts, which are actually it's a silicone breastplate, which I found out. But she like stuffs the lipstick canister into her nipple. And I'm sorry for mom and dad and everyone listening, but this is part of the movie. She stuffs it into her nipple, and it's like, oh god, blood or something, and the nipple just pops right back out.
Yeah, it's like if it had like like a coin slit or something like that you could push something through it. It's like a Roach Motel. You can push something through it, then when you push it back out, it just keeps its form. So it's probably like a micro slit in there that she could push the lipstick through.
It was such a mind fuck. Because I'm expecting like blood or a hole or something just kind of weird, and it's just like it never happened. You know what I mean? It's just such a bizarre little scene.
And that's like shit that like you're gonna start to kind of like see, and you know the weirdness of it. Okay, they brought forth this demon because of course they were doing a seance, and that, remember we talked about Roger and Stooge finding this mirror. They use the mirror because that's a way to do this seance, and they bring forth a demon that's been like dormant in a bunch of demons eventually, but there's one main demon that's just like, it's just depicted as this like floating cow head almost, or
dragon or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it's got like a bunch of horns, and it's just all like monster gross.
Yeah, there's like cords and stuff hanging. I don't even know what.
He kind of looks like the bad guy from Howard the Duck.
Yeah, I can see that.
A little bit.
It's Angela that conjures it. I was like, oh, we got to try this thing, and you know, when the mirror goes black, you know, you're supposed. But somebody breaks the mirror, like, it just turns into a big thing. Angela, by the way, I have to say,
let's go.
Reminds me so much of Nancy.
From The Craft.
Yes, from The Craft.
I was going to be like Nancy Loomis? No. Nancy from The Craft.
From The Craft.
Yeah. Very much still like, hey, this is me. No apologies. This is who I am.
But also her look. And then she's kind of the one that, you know, knows all the spiritual side of things, and the one that kind of conjures the demon into the mirror. And
see, so when the demon comes out, essentially like as we said, at first it goes into Susanna, right? Or Suzanne. And it's like, it's just shown like a fog, like, right? And she does her demon stuff. But I guess like the demon stuff can get passed on without losing it yourself.
Right.
So, wait, what's the very important line? It was the, because they start hearing things and then they smell something and then it's cold. What is it?
The noise, the stink, and the chill.
They're all signs of demonic infestation. I fucking love that line.
Yes.
I love it. But yeah, so Angela's like, this shit's weird. Roger and the girl who dropped the mirror want to leave, and they do essentially leave the premises, you know. The guys are kind of sticking around because, you know, things are
getting
still
lucky tonight.
Yeah, they're still
It's
getting
a Halloween party.
Yeah,
We're
and
drinking.
Suzanne is over there just making out with Angela. We think that's how she's passing the demon to her.
Yes.
Okay. Angela is now demonified, and I don't want to talk a bunch of shit, but
Oh, that's 2 in one show.
I mean, again, it was a lot happening, and it was weird. It was weird for me because Angela, who is also a dancer, the actor is a dancer, decides to, with the accompaniment of a strobe, put on this one-woman dance number show. And the reason it was weird for me is because, yes, that was very erotic, and I liked it, and it was awesome. But it was also the music that was being accompanied. And the song itself is called Stigmata Martyr.
Ooh,
And
great name.
okay. But it scared me, right? Because I was like, they're not speaking English, but they're not like, they're trying to speak in tongues and like in the song. The song is catchy, right? And it's very heavy metal, but like she's dancing to it. And I listened to the song and I get a nervous feeling every time I listen to it.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to like dive into that.
Yeah,
on
I
my
just,
own.
you know, because it's like, you know, you say these things and then they're happening. It's like, so, okay, again, it's a very confusing moment for me because I'm like, oh, I like what I'm watching, but not, I mean, what I'm listening to is kind of weirding me out. It's very confusing. That.
There's a lot of movies at this time that are like that, where you get some bizarre gore, you get a lot of sexuality kind of pumped in, but you're in this kind of weird. The movie's like a fever dream. Like it's you're in this weird state. And that's why I say like the best time to watch it is like 1:30 in the morning when you've watched a couple other horror films. You got the momentum going, but it's that weird state. And a lot of Tales from the Crypt shows, episodes, and movies were like that for me, where it's just a weird state of sexuality, gore, horror, scary moments, bizarre characters, and all this, you know, over the top comedy inside of a horror film. It's a really bizarre thing, but there's a lot of movies like this. It's its own category. So
No, I totally agree. I think this movie has a lot of moments that make it ridiculous, but I do think that there's a charming aspect to it that you can come back to, which is why I come back to it so many times, because it's not, at this point, it's not nostalgia for me. Not anymore. It's a fun, yet I do look at the movie in two bits. The second bit makes me kind of feel icky, you know, and that's good because that movie's serving its purpose. Yeah. You know, I personally liked when everybody was fine and they weren't demons and they were having a good party, right? But then, you know, Stooge turns into a demon and he's like a pig demon almost, and you know, Angela's just like, you know, going so soon and doing stuff like that. Yeah. And you know, there's just like a lot of, I was like, dang, they all had it going on. Okay, remember I talked about Sal, who was this like over the top, sort of arrogant, rude character, ends up kind of being one of the, you know, heroes a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
Because, okay, so Sal likes Judy, right? And Judy went on one date with Sal. Wasn't even a thing, Jay. It's the way she says Jay's name. Jay. That's from Modern Family. And Jay, who's supposed to be like the clean-cut good dude, ends up being a dickhead.
Yeah,
you know?
Walks away from her for Suzanne, remember? Woo!
I mean, you know, it's dumb.
Yeah, and then that's right. Then he ends up hooking up with Suzanne.
He does end up hooking up with Suzanne. Look at you. You know, she doesn't.
Oh, man.
And yeah, and while she's in demon form, so while they start hooking up, she like totally like, you know, turns into a demon and, you know, gouges his eyes out. But yeah, Sal ends up being like this, like, there's that one part where Suzanne's like, you know, he could tell that there's something wrong. There's like, hey, you're too weird for me, Dal. I'm going home. She's like, I can't seem to get it right. Oh, and he's like, I'm going home, right? And then she says, you are home. Nah, I live in a nice home with plastic over the furniture. I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Oh my god. Well, remember when she turns around to her, though, her hands are on fire.
Oh yeah.
Apparently that was a real effect. Like those were really her hands, and they gave her a bucket of ice to like dump. I need to look up the.
Oh my
I need to
God.
triple check that fact, but that is on.
That would not surprise me
that
because
is
she's
online.
a badass. She's a
Yeah.
legitimate, awesome.
Sounds like it was her idea, kind of a thing.
Yeah. So, you know, we're in this house. Shit's going down. I mean, there's not really a lot of like big. Okay, like there are some interesting, fun, over the top kills. Like one couple's hooking up in like a coffin because it's not only was it it was a mortuary, right?
Yes.
Because they have like the cremation station downstairs, and so one couple's hooking up in a coffin, in a casket, and Stooge, who's a demon now, comes to kill them. He just slams the shit out of the coffin that just like severs their limbs and
His
stuff.
arm, yeah. I mean, well, he cracks the neck of the girl. The girl falls on top of the guy. It's one of those classic Halloween 5 kills, you know, where the girl's on top of you or the guy's on top of you. And he's in the coffin. Like, what the fuck do I do at this point? How do I get out of here? This demon's right here. My girlfriend's on top of me, dead. And his arm is sticking out of the coffin. And it's just, it's probably one of the most brutal parts of the movie, more, you know, the violent edge. But
Because the girl stands up and you can see, you know, she's naked and they're obviously having sex. She's like, I don't bend that way. And then they obviously see Stooges coming. He's like, hey, get the fuck out of here, dude. Because they're like, this is that would be him as a perv. And when he steps forward, he's like, ugh. And the girl starts screaming. But the guy, my brother laughs at this all the time. The guy's like, no, not now. I think he yells, not now. And I'm like, that would be such a thing that I would yell, obviously, if I was in that moment. No, not now. Why? You ruined it. I was hooking up. Why'd you ruin it? Oh my gosh.
so there's a lot of great fun moments. It's a fun movie.
So, yeah. So
There's great progression to the demons. They all start to they morph more into the demons.
they deteriorate, although like it depends on like their final form before they die, right? Or like how they died. So like if somebody got their neck spinned, then their neck is turned around. If they're like, you know, got their eyes gouged out, obviously they don't have eyes, but they're like almost like zombies at this point, but they're still demons.
At the end,
Yeah.
they kind of are, yeah.
But the thing is that the worst thing is like Sal does try to help Judy for the most part, and he does die, right? But when he comes back as a demon, they don't even do anything with him because I think he just fell or something like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They just put like blood running off here and then like make his face kind of like white with powder, and he's like, he's just like pursing his lips, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it was almost like there was supposed to be some part of the story where like the power, because like Stooge is totally made up, Angela's totally made up. All the first zombies for the most part have Suzanne, excuse me. Well, she has like the makeup and still, but she's starting to morph more and more. And then everyone else that dies like quicker and later, they have nothing going on for them.
Yeah, they don't get the effects. That might have been the budget there.
Yeah.
How is it that the budget for this was less than April Fool's Day?
But like a lot.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to talk shit about April Fool's Day. I love that movie, but like this movie was pretty ambitious, but then you can kind of tell like the lighting in like the streets of like the nighttime, like in the beginning when I talk about that old man. We'll get back to that real quick, but like there's this old man and like he's just walking down the street and you could just tell it's like a one tall floodlight.
Yeah.
And it's like there's something cool to that. I do like that. It kind of reminds me of the way Halloween 5 was shot. This wasn't like a European director, right? Because that's very European.
I'm not sure about European.
That's like that style of like a European horror is just like that harsh lighting where it's just like it's all black, all dark, and then just one big floodlight.
Yeah, well, the other part of the lighting was that it was coming in through the planks, which was a big thing during these kind of movies that I'm talking about, like the kind of cheesy, kind of sexual, kind of gory movies. Everyone was doing this like harsh lighting into dark rooms. It's lit very odd, throughout.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what I'm saying. It's like so. I mean, I use this as a point of reference, obviously, because I love the movie so much. But like, if you go from Halloween 4 to 5, the lighting is so drastically different.
Yeah.
But when this one is like, yeah, I could tell it's lit a little too harsh. It's not, but again, maybe they were going for the idea that it's nighttime and like maybe you get to see some things you don't. So
yeah,
anyway.
it's very stylized, I think, for the time, and I enjoy it, especially the HD on Monsters HD. It was so much fun.
I
to
mean, I'm
see.
sure. I mean, I bought it, and I think Scream Factory did a whole fun box art for it and
Yeah.
stuff like that, with Linnea Quigley center stage because she's the best. So then the movie talks about how how this was some sort of like a demon trap or some shit. Anyway, it's talking about how it's sacred. It's surrounded by a river that keeps the evil in.
Right.
But the river, or like a creek, but the creek is now represented by a wall. But once you're in, you're not necessarily given the easiest way out. Like the wall shuts off and stuff like that. So
the gate's over there. No, it's not.
yeah. So it's a little bit of a maze-ish, going up, down, and all this stuff. And so it's basically only Judy and Roger. Roger, who tried to leave from the beginning, got brought back because actually Roger has the best fucking moment that makes me cackle each time.
Which one? I think he's got a few.
Judy and Roger are pretty much the last ones. The demons are closing in on them, and Roger just goes, "You're not gonna get me!"
Yeah.
And he fucking dives
so happy.
out of a window and just like breaks through these boards and shit. I laugh each time because I'm like, yeah, I probably could see myself doing that. You're not gonna get me.
He does the same thing 3 times where he's like, "I'm out," and leaves the girl behind, which I fucking love. And Judy's like, well, I guess I'll follow him. Fuck.
Yeah.
But he goes crashing through the window door. I said I did the exact same thing. I actually rewound it 3 times just to hear him. Not going to get me, and just passes Judy and goes and just crashes. I think it was a door with a window or something because he goes crashing through it.
He busts through it big time, but yeah.
And he didn't really have to. It's just been like, okay, I'm just going to push it open and leave. And Judy's like, well, fuck, I guess I'll go. And goes and walks through the little like crash. It's almost like Looney Tunes where
Yeah.
where Wile E. Coyote goes through the wall, and she's like, well, I guess I'll walk through the wall.
I mean, yes, it's not perfect, not even by the smallest margins. It's just a fun, stupid movie that culminates in, like, of course, now everyone's a demon and everyone's gonna come get you. And Roger has to his, you got to reward the smartest guy.
Yeah.
I think you do, right?
Yeah.
So the smartest guy in the movie he's about to make it. And he actually, okay, so remember I talked about the wall. The wall is now the representation of what you have to get over, right? It's a huge wall, but on the top of the wall or along it are fucking barbed wire. Okay, right? But if you're like totally fucking scared for your life, you're gonna endure it, right? So Roger gets over and gets all the way over, and he's like, phew. And Judy's like still behind. She's like, help me. And he's like, I don't know. I'm scared and I'm already over. I might just be cool. I might just run. And you expect Roger's going to run because that's what he's been doing the whole time. He gets back up on there, helps Judy out.
Yeah.
They escape.
Yeah, I mean, he gets scared because the demons come popping out. He falls off the wall. It's just hilarious. Like, when you set up a scene, it's got to be really hard, right? Like, to set up a scene, like, okay, we need you to climb up the wall. He scales it so fucking quick.
Yes.
He's obviously like an athlete. He just like fucking climbs it like it's nothing. And this poor girl is down there just struggling. And,
I mean, yeah.
you got to sell it to a certain point because it's a stage and all this kind of stuff. But
And I
he
think
just scales it.
There was like something added to it, right? About when the sunrise, if you were still on the other side in sunrise, you would get trapped or something
right.
like that.
Yeah.
They all pretty much get trapped or like killed because the sun comes out. Right?
Yeah, they turn
like
into smoke and the night is over. The veil is closed.
the
so.
night of the demons has ended. Except for a subplot. In the beginning, I talked about Stooge mooning an old man. And I talked about Sal getting this little fake rat and scaring an old man. Well, the old man is carrying groceries, drops all these groceries, right? And Judy comes also behind to the old man and tries to help him, and he's like, "Get away from me, you little whore!" And she's like, "Fuck, shit, okay, I'm out of here." So this old man he's like, "Goddamn kids," and I've always liked a character that is, damn you kids. So he is picking up his groceries, and it's shown that he's got an apple. He's got many apples, and he's got a box of razor blades, which I don't know, they just sold like that. Okay. And he's like, "These little kids, they'll get what they deserve tonight." And it's like implied right in the beginning of the movie that this old man is going to shove razor blade. He's going to do the myth. He's going to perpetuate the myth of, or not the myth, but like that
urban legend.
Halloween. Around Halloween, of putting the razor blades in the apples and then giving the apples out, and the kids fucking bite them and get razor in their mouth. So, once the night's over, then the movie progresses. The night's over, and then Judy and Roger just walk in, and they just gotta look like they beat the shit out of them, right? They're like, "Oh my god, it's over, thank God." And they're just walking. They walk by the old man's house, and he's just like being grumpy and shit. And he's married, he has a wife, and he sits down at the table, and she makes him an apple pie.
Yeah. Totally innocent. That's fine. Great.
Yeah, she's like, "I made you an apple pie, or made some apple pie." And she's like, "How is it?" And he's eating it. He's like, "Nah," and he's just being a dickhead, right? Because he's a grumpy old man. I'm like, I get if you're gonna be.
When the fuck did you make an apple pie?
Yeah. She's like, what did she say? "There weren't that many trick or treaters last night. Not like the old days. I had to do something with all those leftover apples." He's like, "Leftover apples?" He's like, "Oh shit." Okay. Then they want you to believe that this wife made apple pie out of these apples that had razor blades in them. So the razor blades then got transferred to the pie. Nobody saw them in between, because you don't just put whole apples to make an apple pie. The razor blades are now being ingested by the old man, and he got what he deserved, and the razor blades shed through his neck, destroying it. It was probably where all the money went. It was like the most expensive effect was that one. And the wife is just kind of like, just drinking her coffee and not even giving a care in the world. I think that's what adds to the idea that this could be a satire, or just kind of poking fun in itself.
It was a bizarre button on a film called Night of the Demons. After what we just saw, it was like, that's what you ended with?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the scene, especially because it is kind of a Halloween movie. It's a Halloween party movie and all of that. And I was like confused at first because of the effect. You can actually see the blood running under the fake skin. So I was like, wait, is he poisoned or what? And then you just see I guess razor blades just cutting his throat open and all that stuff. But it was such a weird scene to end this movie on, Night of the Demons, and you just had this hell of a night with demons and stuff. So it was just like, oh, if it was a trick or treat movie, it makes sense. We replayed that bit, but
maybe what the director and or the writer is saying, that the demons are actually us within ourselves, and it was that night that he was the true demon, and the night has been. I don't know where I was going with that.
Woof.
But
Woof.
it's your woof. That is a weird way to end it. But you know what? It was actually a perfect way, in my opinion, because why not? Why not throw all the shit against the wall and see what sticks? This movie is important to me because it's just weird enough that I can gatekeep it a little bit, which I know is the worst part of fandom. But now I like to push it on people to share and watch. But sometimes you got to know who you're recommending this movie to, because it's a weird one.
Yeah, you made a recommendation about April Fool's Day. I thought that was a perfect recommendation for somebody trying to get into horror films. Mm-hmm. This is not the one to recommend.
No. This
is newbies or any.
This is definitely the one that you said or when to watch it. I think I think I would agree with that. I think also it's a good accompaniment to a Halloween night. Sort of. Yeah, Halloween night, right? You throw the party or you don't throw the party. You've been giving out, trick-or-treaters. I haven't done that in so long. You give out candy, right? And then the night's over and you just put you're just kind of waiting for the stragglers or whatever. And you just kind of put them on.
And you've already watched your favorite Halloween day movies, which is probably Halloween, for me, Carrie, Exorcist, whatever, The Thing. You've already watched all the good ones and you're like, I want the night to continue.
Yes.
I want to keep going. I am so tired, but this is the movie I definitely got to see.
And Angela would love for you to continue it as well, because what does she say when Roger and Judy try to leave? She says, "Going so soon." I love that. And that is just because. Sorry, it doesn't hurt me, so I can do the voice it's like when I do the Macho Man, that voice actually hurts me, so I can only do it like in a little bit, but this one could be like, "Hello."
Yeah, my throat's so dry just hearing you do it right now.
Well.
So, Danny, how many razor blade apples do you give
That's a good one.
Night of the Demons?
Look, I don't want to.
Oh my goodness!
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 razor blades.
Ooh, giving it 3.5.
Yeah,
well,
I'll
the
give it
half grade coming through.
I know it's been a while.
Oh man. Wow. I guess I will give it a 3. I will give it a 3. I don't.
Thank you.
I'm between like a 2.5 and a 3.
Yeah, that's where I was at too. But the half gets the nostalgia factor for me because I remember being. Let's go back to the video store, man. I remember being there and remember being terrified of this movie. And then when I finally got to watch it, I'm like, yeah, but this is fine.
Again, it's an experience that you will probably remember if you watch it at like the right time and you somewhat pay attention. Watch it in the dark. There's been a few movies. I feel like we're starting to talk about that more and more. Like, how do you watch this horror movie?
Yeah, because so if you watch Jaws, right, you can watch that
During the day.
Yes, you can watch it during the day. As a matter of fact, if you watch it at the beach, what's wrong with you? But like also, that's fine. You could do that.
Yeah, totally. It's a daytime adventure movie to me. But we talked about Hereditary at one point. Watch that with all the lights off and the surrounds. Get the setup and the spread. If you need it.
The spread.
For this one, get the spread. Turn off the lights for sure. And
drink yourself a Coors Light. I think that's what they're drinking. Gross, don't drink that.
They are drinking Coors during this. Maybe some warm milk to go to sleep after this one, though.
Oh yeah, I'm down with that.
All right, that's Danny. I'm Lance, reminding you to
lock your doors,
bolt your windows,
and what you do like day.
And join us next time in our Slasher's Paradise.
Goodbye. Hey, did you see anything you like?
Thanks for watching Slasher's Paradise tonight. Please hit the like and subscribe button and turn on all of your notifications so you know the next time we post a video or go live.
And if you'd like an audio-only version of the show, search for us on wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, you name it. We're on all the platforms. We just ask that you leave a rate and review of 5 stars. And if you don't know what to write in the review section, put a recommendation of a horror movie you would love for Lance and I to talk about.
Yes, and if you'd like to get the full experience of Slasher's Paradise, including videos and audio all together, go to deadcandy.com, that's DEDCANDY, or go to youtube.com/deadcandy. Here's to you guys.
This is Slasher's Paradise! Sorry, I had to work that in.
And I'm going to drink on that.
Blended Canadian.